Hello, welcome to CLSB Politics. Sean Briscoe speaking. Well, Congress is starting to be a GOP Congress. What are you going to do? So, a few articles have come across my radar, and I'd just like to kind of talk about a few of them and how they kind of relate to the larger picture of what we can expect to see in the future. So, this one's being called GOP Dysfunction on Day One. I think this is going to be a part one of a very long series that's going to last many, or at least a couple of years. So, part one, I would imagine I'll be at part 40 in a few months. We'll see. But anyway, let's get busy. Okay. Politico came out with an article. I'm going to put the links for the article in the description of this video so you guys can check them out yourself. Politico, it's called Johnson Removes Mike Turner as House Intelligence Chair. Now, why would he do that? I mean, let me tell you, Mike Turner is not a left wing. He is super hardcore right. But he does have a weird little thing. He's been very outspoken supporter for Ukraine. You know, we were talking about the hearing the other day with Hegseth and how it took an hour and 10 minutes for them to even mention Russia. So, yeah, not surprised that, and basically it turns out Trump wanted him out. He didn't need any pushback in one of the more powerful committees in Congress when Trump starts to play around with Ukraine support. So this is them just showing us their playbook, 100%. And also, none of the other committee members were consulted. And that's usually not how this goes. They usually find a coalition inside of the committee to kind of decide who's going to be leader and things of that nature. And that did not happen. They do have a couple of people they're looking at, Scott Perry and Ronnie Jackson. I don't know by the time when this airs if they have chosen, but those are the two guys they're looking at. But actually Johnson has quite a few vacancies on that committee. So they really just removed him as chair, and they still had tons of other things to fill. So this is a complete rework of the Intelligence Committee on the Republican side. It's kind of crazy. Real quick, thank you for watching. Like and subscribe. If you wish to support this channel, we have an account at CLSB Politics on PayPal. As you probably know, I'm not monetized at all by YouTube. So all of the money that you give me goes on to directly support this channel. All right, there's my commercial. The Daily Signal came out with what Trump told me after I voted against the Johnson for Speaker. This one's interesting. Ralph Norman voted against Johnson during the big Speaker hubbub, and I have a video on that. Anyway, he's got some really interesting, quotes that I'd like just to read to you guys so you guys can hear what's really been going on. So we've got, there we go. So I had one chance when we voted for the Speaker to use my one vote out of 435 the way I thought it should be used. And I voted for Jim Jordan, who is a nut job. I get it. Nancy Mace handed me the phone and she said, "The president wants to talk to you." And the first thing Trump said, "You're interrupting my golf game." Well, if nothing else, that's on brand, right? So they said, Mike is the only one that can win it. I don't do a good Donald Trump impersonation. And Norman responded, and I don't even really know what Norman sounds like. "I get that, but you need to be calling Mike and going over where is he going to take a stand on the budget offsets." That's to say that they don't want to increase the deficit. They don't want to do anything. They want to cut. And as we talked about in the hearings with the Department of Defense, with the defense secretary, we know they're not talking about cutting the defense, right? Because they're all like, we need to build our Navy. We need to build our Army. Lethality, and all that nonsense they were talking about. So he wants offsets. So that's because he says this is how we got to 38 trillion in debt. And Norman asked Mike, "Are you going to not put any more suspension votes up where more Democrats vote for it than Republicans before you spend another dollar? Are you going to have offsets with cuts. So they're going to cut programming. And what's really interesting about this is that things have been cut. And if they cut Social Security and welfare, well, you understand most of the red states are welfare states. So they're going to be cutting and shutting down rural hospitals, things of that nature. The blue states are going to figure it out. In fact, that's where the vast, 2/3 of the economy for this country comes out of blue states. So them cutting those welfare is really going to affect those red states, which is really going to affect Republicans and how they're going to vote. So there's really no way this is going to go down. And Mike responded, yes, I will do that. And if I don't, you can put me out. I guarantee you Johnson will be put out, because there's no way in a million years that he's going to hold that seat, because the place that they're going to cut has to be Medicaid, has to be Medicare. You understand, all of that supports rural hospitals in red states. So good luck with that, Speaker Johnson. You're in for a long ride. It's not going to be good. Rep. Norman also reported that multiple PACs reached out to him and threatened him with primary competition. And honestly, much to, Ralph, I'll give it to him. He said, bring it on, which is awesome. Good for him. And also, I know you guys hear me say this a lot about gerrymandering. Well, their primary is the general in that seat. And it just much like most of the seats, I think 18% of seats are actually toss-ups in any way. And we're going to talk about a few more of those Republican toss-up states here at the end of this video. It's going to be hilarious. So, well, if there was, universal non-partisan districting for congressional races, this argument would not work. This threat would not work. These representatives could actually vote the way they want to, or they should for their district. So I'm telling you, I always tell people, if I had to get rid of one of these two, gerrymandering or Citizens United, I'll take gerrymandering. Because you give me a level playing field. Republicans can't campaign for nothing. They overspend and misspend their money horribly. Not that Democrats do it much better, but we do it better. And yeah, those guys give me a level playing field and I'll eat their lunch for sure. So this is important because the GOP has a slim majority, and they're already these offsets are hugely important. And if they're not able to handle this with the hardliners, those hardliners are going to walk. And there's two people to, not vote or vote the other way, and things not going to pass. And I'm going to get to where a few more of those votes are not going to vote and stuff's not going to pass in a little bit later in this video. So Politico had a great article on the Freedom Caucus floating a corporate tax boost in exchange for easing state local deduction caps. Now, this is really looking at Republicans in blue states, mostly those swing districts. The reason they even have majority, a lot of New York, things of that nature. Here, I'm going to blow this up so you guys can see it. They want to trade lower taxes on constituents for higher taxes on companies. That's basically the breakdown. Under the proposal, blue state Republicans would have to agree to restrict the state and local tax deduction, the SALT, for corporations in exchange for easing a cap on deductions for individuals and families. This idea is a no-go for SALT Republicans who are, for one thing, completely funded by corporate America. And they're all sitting on the Ways and Means Committee. Trading on blue state penalties for another is out of the question. So right there, it's got to be almost 50 votes gone. This will never happen. The coalition of New Yorkers with critical swing districts, in particular, have vowed to block any tax bill that doesn't include an increase in the SALT cap, the $10,000 SALT cap. So they're already no-go because that was something they got elected on. That's what they ran on. That's how they got the moderate, those middle voters to swing over to them. This is literally how they got elected. And it's already a no-go. It's not going through Congress. Hilarious. You can't. I mean, these are Republicans. This is what they do. So hilarious. So here we go. Just lost more votes. So you can, I guarantee the country is going to be shut down in March. My birthday is in March. It's literally going to be my birthday present. These Republicans cannot govern, and they literally can't even, they aren't even going to get out of committee with some of this stuff that they're coming up with. That's why this is so important. These votes matter because your margin is this thin. Republicans are absolutely going to get eaten alive. It's like the call is coming from inside the house. That's what's going to be happening. It's going to be nuts. So, get some popcorn. I have a great quote. The only bipartisanship you ever see is when they finally sign a bill and everybody says, gee, isn't that wonderful? Colin Powell. Gotta love it. So anyway, this is my quick and recap of what's going on as of January 16th. This will probably go out in a day or two. But man, you guys got to pay attention, and you guys got to keep your eyes open. As more of these articles and these quotes come in, I'm focusing on the Republicans in Congress because there's no way Johnson's going to be, the Democrats are absolutely not going to save him. Trump is going to do what Trump does, which is going to be just nonsense. And Johnson's going to be sitting there. He's not going to be able to get anything through Congress, period. Trump's going to do a bunch of presidential signing, but at the end of the day, the funding for his wall, all of the stuff he wants to do, the big tax breaks for his buddies, none of that's going to happen. Not with this Congress, because this Congress technically can't do anything. So, again, thank you for watching. Like and subscribe. If you wish to support this channel, I am not monetized by YouTube. I have a PayPal account at CLSB Politics. All right, things are starting to get interesting. Oh, also quick, looks like I'm going to Wisconsin again. There's a Supreme Court race up there that needs some winning. So I'll keep you guys posted on that and probably be reporting from Wisconsin in a couple weeks. Who knows? We'll see. Hopefully sooner. All right, I'll talk to you later. Bye.